What's going on, Donkey Kong? What we got here is my first of an 8-part series in which I'm going to try and make my life a little bit better. Now, the problem we got here is the gates are approximately... I could hit those if I'm not trying. Well, what really happened to bring this to light one night was I was going to work 4 AM and my better half tried to back the car out. Now, middle of the night, that fella over there was a wee bit more grown into yonder, and that fella, well, he was doing much the same. So the problem I had was, well, problem she had, she's trying to reverse, couldn't figure out where to reverse. Her reversing camera didn't show her enough. Her wing mirrors, well, she couldn't see out of them because the reversing camera's screen was too bright, and she was in a new car, we didn't have a feel for anything, didn't work too good. So I thought, alright, what are the things I can do? Well, I could get on that post, yeah, and that post, yeah, could put some solar lights, but that, to position them, to get it all right, it'll impede the flow a little bit more. So, alright, I could get reflective tape, but that stuff costs like $500, or actually solution. More. I go from small gate to larger gate. You missed steps 1 through another number, where I went, alright, this post is going to go yay deep, going to put some hinges on it, going to brace it, going to, have an all-around good time. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. This is the easy one. Put a post in, put a gate on it, and put a wheel on the gate. Now the next problem I had is, well, where do I put the wheel? Of course, the best place for me to put the wheel is there. And as you see, I've put it there. A couple of reasons. Some smart, some not so smart. And main one is I don't want that wheel to track all the way through my grass. And where it is, it does a pretty good job holding the load as is. So, if I need to put on another, I'll put on another. Now, when I was putting in this post, as positioned now. Yeah, so when I was putting in this post, I thought it'd be a good idea to have like a nice little space there, nice tight space, because there's some of, yeah, I don't know if you can see those things. Come on, focus. Focus. Come on, Bella. Come on, Bella. You can't see them because I can't get it to work. Those things are chickens. So there's chickens, there's dogs. There are all sorts of animals that could go through here. Chicken, might be able to get through that. Might have to do something about that. Dog, yeah, she's not going to have a good time getting through that one. So, problems with people driving past, but came to a good solution. Got me a tripod. Red wheelie bin edition. Anyway, she's doing well. So what I initially thought I was doing that was smart is I put a inch-by-inch equal section in there. Had this gate. I eliminated this gate's movement to make it a nice solid pole by chucking in a star picket, so I didn't have any of that swivel. I had it boarded up so I had nice and level, and got this pole in. Then neatened up the pole. Thought I was being reasonably smart, being an alright fella. Turns out I was a bit silly. What I initially thought I was going to do with the latch is have a chain here, thread it around, hook it on, should be all good, all hunky-dory. Then I thought, oh, maybe I'll have an eyelet. Put the chain through, eyelet on. Same thing, same hooking idea. Still using a chain. But then my prettier half came up with the idea of, well, we got horseshoes. And wouldn't it be great if we had a horseshoe that went through this gate and let the gate come in and out. I didn't think this far ahead when I was initially doing it one stage at a time. Planning is everything. So what I do, went and tried to fabricate the best thing I could. Made a nice little device. So you lift it up, swivel it around, and index notch in, holds in place. This fella, attached to this fella, which is going to hold this fella, and therefore them chickens, that dog, don't get out, all's well. Now the problem we got there, she don't fit. She's not really well, I'd say I've had tighter, but that'd be a lie. Yeah, so my solution, I'm gonna have to bring it around the side somehow. Now this fella's in the way. Gotta run a line, gotta figure something out. Gotta neaten this up. So let's do some welding and some grinding. Righto, so I didn't go and do any welding. Didn't really see the point in it, to be honest. Knew I had things to do before I could fit the mechanism, and if I'm going to fit the mechanism later on, get things done first. Then I'll see if I need to make those fine adjustments. Fortunately I did, because if we look at this fella, you get to see all the stuff I'm having to deal with. Now, up and down here, we have the mesh wrapped around the post. It was that, or well, initially I was going to spiral the wire, but that's annoying. And thinking about clamping on with singular wires, that might have been the way to go actually. But so what I ended up doing is curling it around, securing it onto itself. Now, this has its benefits, but also has one huge problem at the moment. This gap here, when we have a gap problem coming up. Now, if I'll move my handy dandy tripod. Oh yeah, tripod. Yeah, so what I currently need to do, pull that into itself as far as I can. Then I want this fella to go that way as much as possible. Might have to cut out here. I already had to do one cut here. But ultimately, if I can get this wire flush up against it, as it wants to do when I make it, then hopefully I'll get the next stage. Righto team, what we got going on here? I went and rolled out this lovely length of mesh, and if you look here, you'll see it's doubled up somehow. It's doubled up because we had a whole, that is approximately 1 meter, plus or minus 100 mil. Yeah, so that length, 1 meter short. Weren't too keen on that, had to go hunting for materials, and so I did this beautiful fusion of mesh and mesh. Yeah, welded mesh. So anywho, needed to get it tight, and since I'm not so, well, I ain't too strong, got this fella right here. Strainer is what I've always been called, heard it called. Tensioner is another way of calling it, but I don't want to get into the engineering of these things. It makes thing tight. Now, what you need to do to make something tight is you need to have something that is going to resist at the same, well, it's going to pull that way when I pull that way. And using the existing line here, well, that weren't a good idea, because that one was just sort of chucked on to stop people from coming over and stealing my mum's mulberries. It's not so good to go on other people's property. Please don't. Anywho, so I'm gonna have to live with that one for a while, but it's under low tension, should be okay. Now, since I've cut that one, I'm gonna have to be very quick to make sure no animals get out.
Righto. So see how stupid we are here? Oh yeah. Listen to that flute. Hopefully my brother never sees this. He wouldn't be too happy I'm using his tools like this. Yeah. Yeah. Nice little slot. Alright, so I got a clean workbench with all the flammables, well, within proximity. That's as you want them. So been trying to neaten up this little fella here, so that I'll just put my vitamin water now, so that this little fella slots in much nicer. original idea with saying the welding and whatnot is I had an idea I was gonna try and trick you that I can stick weld and whatnot, but no, I can't weld. I can join things. I can use a mag. I'm not even smart enough to know the difference. I can use a point and click weld, but I can't use the stick weld. Anyway, it's got a little bit of wiggle on it. Sort of want to go in deeper, but it's not getting deeper because of that problem. It's deep. It's wiggling because of an issue with the diameters. How do I solve that? Alright, so in order to stay away from those questions I can't answer, I'll do something about the ones I can. I want this to not be rusty. I want to paint. I want this to not be rusty. I've removed some of this, the rust off it, but there's some nitty gritties. All that stuff. You gotta get it off somehow. Now, if I just had a tool. I got this back in like 2004. As you see, it's had heavy use. Let's do this properly. So I was adding a bit of extra meat into her, throw some welds in. As I said, only MIG weld, because I can't weld. Anyway, so I was chucking some extra metal in there, and it didn't really fit the pipe anymore. So, started out with the grinder, and fortunately I'm like 3.5 inch, but when I'm on grinder I tend to go up to 9.
Alright, so we've tensioned up the wire going that way, added the mesh on. That was, as you saw, that was pretty fun. And we've come to the next problem, implementing the instrument. Now, unfortunately, who knows, this post has shifted that way somewhat, or this post shifted that way. It's winter, it gets a bit cold. Actually, no, thermal contraction due to it being steel and whatnot, it wouldn't be effective. It's talking about a distance of 4 meters, and it's... Yeah, no, we weren't that close, So it's definitely these wires pulling the post that way. As you can see, it's also on a slant. I'll get the bubble out, but I'm sure you'll believe me. Anywho, good news, this mechanism works. Comes in, locks down, holds. Pull up, and it goes out the other side. Oh my. So yeah, that's pretty special. Now, if you look at the fun stuff, there's way too much daylight there. Now, my current theory is I'm going to get the ye old grinder, different from the one I just showed you, but yeah, and bridge the gap with steel, or whatever my cord is. As I said, it's MIG. I'm not smart. It's what my brother set me up with 20 years ago. Oh yeah, check this out. Got a nice combo lock, so you just got to keep your wits about you and you can get into the place next to some nice strong chain, and yeah, she's completely secure.